Amidst the breathtaking landscapes of the national park, a baby elephant teetered on the edge of a deadly cliff, its cries echoing through the valley. Just when all hope seemed lost, Mike defied danger to pull off an unimaginable rescue. But what happened next will shock even those who thought they'd seen everything. But first, let's go back to the beginning. The sun cast its golden glow over the undulating landscape of the national park, where nature thrived in its resplendent beauty. Mike, a seasoned wildlife enthusiast, trekked with an eager spirit through the park's rugged terrains, his camera strapped securely around his neck. For Mike, each click of the shutter was more than just capturing a moment. It was an act of preservation. He had long been driven by deep-seated passion for nature and an unwavering commitment to wildlife conservation. Each photograph he took was a testament to the world's natural wonders, destined to inspire and educate others about the immense value of protecting these living treasures. As Mike wandered deeper into the wilderness, he was accompanied by a symphony of rustling leaves and distant bird calls. The air was crisp, imbued with the earthy scent that follows rain, serving as a reminder of nature's relentless cycle of growth and renewal. The tranquility of this afternoon, however, was soon disrupted by an unexpected and unsettling sound, a series of desperate cries echoing through the serene environment. Instinctively, Mike's heart quickened and his senses heightened. Intrigued and concerned, he adjusted his cap, ensuring it shaded his eyes from the glaring sun, and set off in the direction of the distressing calls. Navigating through the dense underbrush and uneven terrain, Mike's senses guided him swiftly yet cautiously. The cries grew louder, more pronounced with each step he took. Eventually, the foliage parted, revealing a scene that was both breathtaking and alarming. There, precariously perched on the edge of a cliff, was a baby elephant. The calf struggled to maintain its balance on the loose, crumbling soil, its small trunk flailing in a desperate plea for help. The ground beneath it seemed to waver, threatening to give way at any moment. Time seemed to stretch thin. Every second felt like a fragile whisper in a storm of uncertainty. Mike's mind raced, a tumult of thoughts and potential actions coursing through him. The reality of the situation was stark and immediate. Without intervention, the calf stood to plummet down the steep ravine to inevitable disaster. A profound sense of urgency took hold of Mike, his love for wildlife translating into a resolute call to action. Despite being hundreds of pounds lighter and vastly weaker than the calf's formidable elephantine kin, Mike knew he could not stand idly by. The contrasting scene of power and vulnerability captured in that moment was emblematic of his life's work, championing the fragile amid the formidable forces of the wild. With a deep breath, he acknowledged the daunting responsibility before him, to save a life suspended between hope and despair. The path forward was fraught with risk, but marked with the potential for a profound act of compassion and courage. Mike was not a stranger to adventures in the wilderness, but the sight before him was unlike anything he had faced, a pulse-quickening blend of trepidation and urgency. Despite being alone on this rugged terrain, a place where every rock and shadow could hold untold dangers, the only thing pulsing through his mind now was the desperate bleat of the young elephant hanging precariously from the cliff. Compassionately resolute, he felt a powerful urge surge through him, a driven instinct to act, to protect, and to save. Unperturbed by the looming risk and unpredictability of the situation, Mike's mind shifted into high gear. He scanned the area, quickly crafting a plan from the sparse resources he had. His fingers worked swiftly, tying a rope around the thick trunk of a nearby tree, anchoring it securely to hold his weight and that of the frightened creature below. There was little time to dwell on personal safety. Each precious second felt weighted with the life of the young elephant hanging on its fragile line. As Mike eased himself over the cliff's edge, The abrasive texture of the rope bit into his palms, yet he embraced the discomfort. The sense of duty that compelled his actions superseded any whisper of pain or fear. He could feel the rough bark of the tree pressing into his shoulder as he maneuvered downward, piece by piece, step by cautious step. Below him, the baby elephant's cries tugged at his heartstrings, fueling his determination to reach out and offer solace. The descent was a delicate dance, demanding precision and calm in the face of adversity. Mike's gaze remained locked onto the anxious calf, its wide eyes mirroring both terror and a fledgling glimmer of hope. He could sense the elephant's mother hovering nearby, an embodiment of strength laced with protective anxiety that resonated in the air like a tangible force. Witnessing such profound, raw emotion in the animals around him steeled his resolve. With each inch he descended, Mike's grip on the rope tightened, a lifeline not just for himself, but for the diminutive creature that trembled beneath him. Once he reached the calf, its panicked movements ceased momentarily, finding a brief respite in Mike's assuring, calm demeanor. Wrapping his arms around the calf, he communicated silently, promising safety, whispering assurance as the rescue unfolded slowly yet methodically. Together, they inched back up the cliff, the ropes groaning under the shared burden. Every pull strained his muscles, sweat mingling with dirt and resolve, yet he pushed on. Once on solid ground, the calf hesitated, casting one last look into the eyes of its savior, a glance filled with understanding beyond instinct. Mike watched, his breath gradually calming as the baby elephant took its first tentative steps towards its herd. A flood of relief and joy washed over him, eclipsing the tension as the mother elephant regathered her calf into the fold with palpable gratitude that hung in the air like a warm embrace. A soft trumpet resonated among the herd, a triumphant symphony of survival and connection, narrating a story of compassion that transcended their disparate worlds. The orange hues of sunset bathed the horizon as Mike sat by the fire, deep in thought about the surreal connection he had unwittingly forged with the elephant herd. The cool breeze rustled the leaves, carrying with it whispers of distant trumpeting, an indication that his enigmatic companions were not far away. The transformation from initial trepidation to an undeniable bond was something Mike could have scarcely envisioned. As the weeks unfolded, there was an undeniable pattern forming. Each dawn brought with it the gentle presence of the elephants. Initially, Mike perceived their proximity as a potential threat, his mind conjuring possibilities of a misunderstood gesture or an inadvertent violation of their space. Yet, what unfolded transcended the simplistic realm of human-animal interaction and ventured into the extraordinary. The elephant's behavior was not aggressive or territorial. Rather, it was steeped in a tranquil acknowledgement of past deeds. One particularly serene morning, as the mist began to dissolve and the first light kissed the dewdrops, Mike observed the herd moving gracefully toward his camp. Perplexity gave way to awe as these massive creatures, usually viewed as distant entities of grandeur and mystique, approached with an air of familiarity. There was a rhythmic cadence to their steps, a deliberate formation that seemed almost ceremonial. They encircled him in what could only be described as a collective embrace. A peaceful silence enveloped the area, broken only by the soft padding of giant feet on earth and the gentle rustle of grass underwind. As he stood amidst these gentle giants, moments from the past overwhelmed him. He recalled the desperate cries, the perilous edge, and the heart-stopping adrenaline as he rescued the baby elephant. A wave of understanding washed over him. These beings, often misunderstood as mere wildlife, possessed a depth of emotion and memory that echoed human sensibility. Their return was not mere chance or routine. It was recognition, a shared history marked by empathy and courage. Mike was humbled. To be acknowledged by these majestic creatures dispelled skeptical notions surrounding the intelligence and emotional sophistication of elephants. This was not just gratitude, it was an act of communion. Their eyes, wise and knowing, met his, speaking a language older than time. It was an unspoken promise between two worlds, that the boundary separating man from beast was more porous than society often admitted. Each encounter served to deepen the bond. Mike began to see the herd as allies, their presence reassuring in the solitude of the wild. The days passed in serene companionship. Each elephant, from the imposing matriarch to the playful calves, had a place in Mike's newfound family. As he journeyed through the park, documenting the stunning vistas and the wildlife that thrived within them, he did so under the watchful gaze of his pachyderm safeguard. This unique alliance transformed his mission from one of observation to one of mutual coexistence and understanding. In every stride they took beside him, Mike felt a profound privilege woven with responsibility to protect, to preserve, and to treasure the extraordinary connection they all now shared. In the days and weeks that followed the dramatic rescue, the vast savanna became a backdrop to an extraordinary and evolving friendship between Mike and the elephant herd. The initial apprehension that Mike felt when faced with such majestic and powerful creatures so close to his vulnerable campsite slowly transformed into a profound connection built on mutual trust and respect. He observed the elephants with a newfound sense of appreciation, each day revealing more about their intricate social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and nuanced behaviors. It was as if the baby elephant, once a mere slip away from tragedy, had become an unbreakable link that bridged the gap between two completely different worlds. As the sun set over the horizon each evening, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Mike would sit quietly near his camp, camera in hand, capturing moments that were as breathtaking as they were humbling. The elephants often approached, their large, gentle eyes steady on Mike. It was as if they were extending a silent invitation, a call to live alongside them in their world, to learn and understand without intrusion. The elephants' trunks, gentle and expressive, would softly trace patterns in the dust, a silent conversation unfolding between him and the colossal beings. Mike meticulously documented these encounters, each photograph and video clip a testimony to the genuine bond that had formed. These weren't just any wildlife shots. They were snippets of a story that resonated far beyond the boundaries of the savanna. Mike's footage captured the empathy in the elephants' eyes, the tranquility of their movements, and the profound connection they shared with him. As he shared these images with the world, the impact was immediate and transformative. People across the globe found themselves captivated, their hearts touched by the untold beauty of interspecies friendship. The narrative of Mike and the elephants quickly became more than just a remarkable story of animal behavior. It evolved into a powerful symbol of hope and empathy. It's rare to find such a generous acceptance across the divide of species, and it underscored the simple yet profound truth that kindness has no boundaries. What began as a harrowing rescue culminated in a living testament to the possibilities that arise when fear gives way to understanding and compassion. In the broader context, Mike's experiences challenged preconceived notions about human and animal interactions. His story offered a renewed perspective, reminding us all of the intrinsic value in treating all living beings with compassion and respect. The echoes of his journey reverberated through online platforms and conservation circles, igniting a global conversation about empathy, coexistence, and the enduring power of nature to remind us of the best parts of our humanity. As Mike continued to share his story, he inspired countless others to view wildlife through a lens of mutual respect and to ponder, just like he did, the endless possibilities that arose from acting with a heart open to understanding.